You know, Elon's done a very good job. He's found tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse, like levels you've never seen. People that don't show up to work and they get checks. I mean, so many different things that you can't even go over. It is so much. Done a great job. And he's basically a patriot. You know, he's in business, and I've gotten to know him primarily through the campaign. He endorsed me. I appreciated it, but I didn't know him very well before that, hardly at all. And he's essentially a patriot. He's a wonderful patriot. He loves the country. But he has never asked me, think of this, and he's got plenty of right to, I guess. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it. I probably won't.
No favor.
But he's never asked me for a favor.
Joining us now is Josh Hammer, Senior Editor-at-Large at Newsweek. Josh, thank you for joining us. I want to talk to you about DOGE. We are just seeing the ugliest attacks against Elon Musk, and it's amazing to see what people are actually protesting against. Today, Elon gave another example of what DOGE has been finding, and that includes $330 million in SBA loans to children under 11, including a 9-month-old baby who received a $100,000 loan.
A clear case of fraud was with the Small Business Administration, where they were handing out loans, $330 million worth of loans to people under the age of 11. I think the youngest, Kelly, was a 9-month-old who got a $100,000 loan. That's a very precocious baby we're talking about here.
How dare DOGE expose this? I suppose this is what the left want to see more of.
Yeah, I mean, just giving away money, you know, as if it's just like a piece of paper or a pencil or some sort of widget to give away. I mean, what could possibly go wrong here? I mean, on the one hand, it's really just darkly hilarious, isn't it? I mean, that this is the kind of thing that's been going on for God knows how long. I mean, who knows when these programs even started? Was it Joe Biden? Was it Barack Obama? Was it sometime even further in the past there? On the other hand, it really does underscore just how utterly inane and frankly perverse the dramatic massive left-wing opposition to Elon Musk is. I mean, the people that are opposing the Trump administration more generally, Gabriella, whether it's things like this, whether it's the deportation of pro-Hamas miscreants like Mahmoud Khalil, I mean, what exactly are they standing for? I mean, are you guys actually making an affirmative positive stand to give away so-called loans to the tune of $330 million to people that are as young as 9 months? Are you actually taking an affirmative stand to actually keep Hamas supporters in the United States? I mean, what does it say about the modern left that they are forced to take these stances all in the purported name of just opposing whatever it is the Trump administration has to do? Because that's basically all they stand for at this point. They basically stand for whatever Trump does, and by extension, whatever Elon Musk does, we necessarily, by dint of that very fact, we will oppose it there. But that's left them defending some very, very, very indefensible things, I'm afraid.
Absolutely. I would like to see them defend something worthwhile. Let's talk about US IP. The Trump administration is gutting the institution of peace. So last week, bureaucrats held a tense standoff with a DOGE team that required police intervention. A White House spokesperson says that rogue bureaucrats will not be allowed to hold agencies hostage, and a judge agreed with this. District Judge Beryl Howell denied a request from the agency to grant a temporary restraining order that claimed that DOGE committed literal trespass and taking over by force. Now questions are being raised over what USIP could be trying to hide. USIP has around 300 employees, has a budget of $55 million a year. We know that it was established by Congress in 1984, and it claims that its mission is to prevent violent conflicts and broker peace deals abroad. This is, of course, despite the United States having been involved in numerous military interventions, prolonged wars, and the rising global instability in decades since then. It's hard to actually see what USIP has been able to achieve.
Well, it's funny that they only have a budget of $55 million or whatever the exact number is, because if you actually drive by the U.S. Institute for Peace, and I've driven by it any number of times, it's located right on Constitution Avenue. It's literally right off the National Mall. So if you've been a tourist in Washington, D.C., you're driving down Constitution Avenue, you're driving down Main Justice and the Federal Reserve, and then you see this mysterious building, U.S. Institute of Peace. What in the world is this there? And it turns out that this, like so many other alphabet soup agencies or alphabet soup NGOs that are funded by the taxpayer in Washington, D.C., it's just a bunch of deep state career leftist bureaucrats. That's basically all that's going on here, it turns out, at the U.S. Institute of Peace there. By the way, the judge who actually ruled against the U.S. IP employees there and ruled in favor of Elon Musk and DOGE, Beryl Howell, total left-wing judge, absolute far-left judge there. I suppose a broken clock, after all, is still correct twice a day there, but it says just how it speaks volumes about how just meritless, frankly, the US IP's lawsuit was against Elon Musk and Doge here for trying to gut out a lot of the fat in this taxpayer-subsidized adjunct of the federal government. It's not really an agency. It's not really independent. It's kind of just an appurtenance, you might say, of the federal government. But the federal government, it turns out, has a lot of appurtenances, to use the same word there. That's kind of what Donald Trump was elected to do, by the way. He was elected to drain the swamp. I mean, what did the people out there think that drain the swamp meant? I mean, did y'all think that it was just a bunch of mean tweets? I mean, it's time to actually drain the swamp in action. That's literally the whole point of the Department of Government Efficiency. It's the whole point of what Elon Musk is doing there. Apparently, he's staying awake till 1 a.m. every night. He's sleeping in his office there. The world's wealthiest man is committed to this. He is committed to gutting out waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government. The American people are on his side. American people, roughly 65 to 70% approval ratings, say that they like what DOGE and Elon Musk are doing there. It is slush funds. It is taxpayer-subsidized career leftist bureaucrat slush funds like the US IP that are on the wrong side of the American voter. And yet again, Gabriella, we see that the left is forced to defend a fairly indefensible position, a position, mind you, that, as I just said, even a very left-wing judge like Beryl Howell actually ruled against.